Hey everyone, welcome back to Nintendo Deals. I'm Razovy, and today we've got some absolute bangers on sale on the Nintendo eShop. From chaotic shooters to heartfelt RPGs, this list is stacked with quality games. No filler, no time wasters, so if you've been waiting for the right moment to build your backlog, this is it. Let's jump right in. Let's kick things off with Doom Eternal. This game doesn't hold back. It's fast, it's brutal, and it's one of the best first-person shooters ever made. You play as the Doom Slayer, absolutely ripping and tearing through demons with a ridiculous arsenal of weapons and smooth as butter movement. Wall climbing, double jumping, air dashing, it's all here, and it feels amazing. Every encounter is like a combat puzzle. You need to constantly move, manage ammo, health, and armor in a rhythm that becomes almost hypnotic once you master it. And the switchboard? Surprisingly solid, even in handheld mode. If you want adrenaline, metal, and mayhem in a perfect turn package, Doom Eternal is a must play. Next up, Eastward. This one is a gorgeous pixel art RPG with a ton of personality. You play as a miner named John and his mysterious companion Sam as they travel across a quirky, post-apocalyptic world. It's packed with environmental storytelling, heartfelt dialogue, and some surprising emotional moments. The game mixes puzzle solving, combat, and exploration with some truly cozy vibes. And let's talk about the soundtrack. It's incredible. If you liked Earthbound or Studio Ghibli films, Eastward will feel right at home. It's weird, warm, and full of charm. Definitely a standout indie on the Switch. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is basically the spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and it absolutely delivers. You play as Miriam, exploring a sprawling, gothic castle filled with secrets, enemies, and upgrades. The combat is satisfying, the RPG mechanics are deep, and the freedom to explore at your own pace is super rewarding. There's a huge variety of weapons, magic abilities, and crafting systems that give the game a lot of replay value. This is the kind of game where you'll lose track of time just trying to 100% the map. If you love Metroidvanias or classic Castlevania games, this is one of the best modern entries in the genre. If you like story-driven shooters, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is absolutely worth your time. This game is a bold, over-the-top alternate history where you fight against a Nazi regime in a dystopian America. You play as BJ Blazkowicz, and let me tell you, this game doesn't pull punches. It's violent, raw, and filled with surprisingly emotional story beats. The narrative goes to some dark places, but it also has moments of absurd humor and badass action. It's cinematic, but it never forgets it's a shooter at heart. The Switch port holds up pretty well, and if you've never played this one before, it's absolutely worth diving into. This is one of those games that looks like a cute platform on the surface, but ends up being seriously impressive. Think Donkey Kong Country style 2D levels, mixed with a top-down Zelda-like overworld full of secrets. The level design is sharp, the visuals are colorful and polished, and the soundtrack is just delightful. One unique feature is the titular Impossible Lair, a brutally hard, final level you can technically attempt at any time, but as you progress, you rescue bees that act as an extra hit, making the lair more manageable. It's clever, challenging, and super rewarding for completionists. A must-grab if you love precision platformers. Astria Ascending is a beautiful hand-drawn JRPG that really shines if you're into turn-based combat and classic Final Fantasy storytelling. The visuals are like a living watercolor painting, absolutely gorgeous. You play as a group of 8 heroes called the Demigods, each with their own class and abilities, and the story dives deep into themes like fate, sacrifice, and duty. It's a slower paced game, but once the battle system opens up, it's super satisfying, especially with the focus on elemental weaknesses and smart ability usage. There's also a surprisingly large world to explore, packed with dungeons, puzzles, and hidden secrets. It's not for everyone, but if you're into traditional JRPGs with a bit of a modern twist, this one is a sleeper hit. This game is a love letter to Suikoden fans, and it absolutely delivers. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is a massive turn-based RPG with a cast of over 100 recruitable characters. Yeah, 100. And a world brimming with political intrigue and emotional depth. The pixel art mixed with 3D environments creates this unique, almost storybook look, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. The combat system is tight and strategic, with positioning playing a huge role. Building your army and watching your town grow over time is super satisfying. If you missed that golden age of PS1 era RPGs with a big cast and deep systems, this is your chance to relive that magic. Definitely one of the best modern JRPGs in recent memory. Wargroove is basically Advance Wars but with swords, magic, and adorable pixel art. It's a turn-based strategy game where positioning, terrain, and unit synergy are key. Each commander you control has a unique groove ability that can turn the tide of battle, and there's a full campaign co-op, and even a level editor if you want to create your own maps. It's easy to pick up, but hard to master, trust me, especially on higher difficulties. Perfect if you like Fire Emblem or tactical games in general. And if you're looking for something that scratches that Advance Wars itch without actually playing the Advance Wars port of the Switch, well, this is the one. It's an absolute gem. This game is straight up chaos in the best way. Going Under is a roguelike dungeon crawler where you explore the ruins of a failed tech startup. Yeah, it's a weird and hilarious, but it's awesome. You play as an unpaid intern who uses office junk like keyboards, coffee mugs, and monitors as weapons while battling monsters that are basically late-stage capitalism personified. The humor is super self-aware, the combat is fluent and chaotic, and the art style is vibrant and fun. Every run feels different thanks to random upgrades and item drops. It's clever, addictive, and honestly, one of the most original roguelites I've ever played. If you want vibes, well, this game has them in spades. Shinchan, Me and the Professor on Summer Vacation is a slow, peaceful life sim where you spend your days catching bugs, fishing, exploring the countryside, and talking to quirky villagers, all while playing as the mischievous Shinchan. The visuals are absolutely stunning, looking like a watercolor anime brought to life. There's a light sci-fi plot in the background, but mostly it's just about soaking in the relaxing, nostalgic feel of a summer holiday in rural Japan. It's wholesome, it's weird, and it's surprisingly emotional. If you want something chill and unique, give this one a shot. Ape Out is pure mayhem. You're a giant gorilla breaking out of captivity, and the entire game is a jazz-fueled, top-down smash fest. You grab enemies, throw them into walls, and use them as human shields, all while the soundtrack reacts dynamically to every punch and explosion. The visuals are minimalist but super stylish, kind of like a Saw-based movie poster in motion. It's short, intense, and incredibly satisfying to play. If you like Hotline Miami or just want to blow some steam with some fast, rhythmic violence, Ape Out absolutely slaps, literally. Gravity Circuit is a total throwback to 8-bit and 16-bit action platformers. Think Mega Man X with a modern twist. You play as Kai, a lone hero with a grappling hook and a badass punch combo system. The levels are tightly designed, the pixel art is crisp, and the controls are buttery smooth. Each boss has unique mechanics, and there's a surprising amount of replay value with hidden upgrades and side quests. What really stands out is the flow. You can zip through levels like a pro once you get the hang of the grappling mechanics. If you love retro action games that respect your time and skill, this one is a hidden gem. From the creators of FTL, Into the Breach is one of the most brilliant strategy games on the Switch. Every move matters. You're controlling a squad of mechs, fighting giant monsters, and the catch is, you know exactly what the enemy will do next turn. So instead of reacting, you're planning surgical strikes to prevent damage, save civilians, and trap enemies in their own attacks. It's like chess mixed with Pacific Rim. The minimalist pixel art doesn't look flashy, but the depth is insane. Every match feels like solving a puzzle, and there's tons of variety with different mech teams and upgrades. Strategy fans, this is essential. Let's end with one that's, let's say, unique. Galgun Returns is a real shooter where you use pheromone shots to fend off hordes of anime girls who've been love-struck by a Cupid's arrow gone wrong. Yeah, you read that right. It's over the top, tongue-in-cheek, and totally aware of how ridiculous it is. The gameplay is surprisingly solid for a real shooter, with secret routes, upgrades, and branching paths. Of course, it's packed with fan service, so it's not for everyone, but if you're into offbeat Japanese games that don't take themselves so seriously, this is a wild ride. Just maybe don't play it on the train or the airplane. And that wraps up this week's deals. Which of these games are you grabbing, or do you already own all of them? Drop your favorites in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on another Nintendo deal. I'm Razovy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Happy game!